everyone, welcome back to DIY Blessings. This is where I will show you a number of DIY projects that have a twist of faith, blessing, and spirituality infused into them. Let's get into the next video. One look and I breathe. Did you know that you can create a stunning fall wreath for just about $10? Let's dive into how you can transform your home into something quite spectacular over the fall season. Now, here in Toronto, Canada, we are entering the cooler months. We are entering the fall season. And when the fall season approaches, many of us want to begin to transform our homes into something warm and cozy. Fall season to me is a time of reflection. It's a time of renewal. It's a time of growth, but it's also a time of thankfulness and gratitude. And Dollar Tree has a lot of these items that you can build and that will look like you bought them from Pottery Barn. You don't have to break your pocket to do it.
So I picked up this circular metal wreath frame. I wanted to go with a circular look for my wreath. So I'm going to use this along with, I picked up this bless sign that I'm going to put at the bottom. And we are going to also use some twine, which I'm going to wrap around the frame. And then you just need some flowers of your choice. And I wanted to go with these colors because I think they represent the fall season. Now, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to lay down your frame and you're going to put it flat, and we're just going to tie the twine around the frame, tie it in a tight knot, and then we're just going to begin to wrap the twine around the frame. Now, I'm trying to line it up and get it as close together in the beginning just so that it stays snug. And then you just keep wrapping and wrapping and wrapping. So I'm just showing you here how tight I put it together. And I realized a little bit later in the video that I didn't necessarily want the twine to be so close together. So use your judgment. I eventually just space it out with my fingers in the end. But you don't need to start that close together because it ends up being too tight, and also it uses a lot of twine. And I actually didn't want it to look so snug because I wanted to have a little bit of a rugged look and not let it look as uniform. And here you just keep adding string because it's hard to work with a lot of string at one time. So I'm just going in bunches, and then you just keep tying to what's left, and then you wrap. Tie what's left, and then you wrap. And here you have it. Here is the finished product. Well, it's not actually finished, but at least I finished wrapping my twine. And then we're going to go in and cut off all of those little pieces. And you'll see that there's some gaps. And again, that's because I started to loosen up how close I was putting my twine together, but that's okay. That will be covered by the flowers, so you won't notice that in the end. So go ahead and start to cut off all of your extra pieces where you joined your twine together. Now I'm going to tie my bless sign to the bottom of the wreath. So I just took an extra small piece of the twine, and I'm just going to loop it through in the middle part of the sign and then affix it or tie it to the bottom. Now I also found this beaded wreath. I know I didn't show it in the beginning of the video, but I did remember that I had it, so I wanted to also use it on my wreath. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this small beaded wreath to the middle of my larger wreath. And it's just going to create a nice little focal point and add some depth to the wreath. So now I'm just flattening out each of the beads just to get them as flat as possible so that when I put on the glue, it's more uniform and they're all symmetrical. And then just paste that to the middle of your wreath. And again, just make sure they are all flat so it sits nicely. Now let's get into adding your leaves or your flowers. So I picked up, again, these red maple leaves, if you will, and I'm just going to begin to place them on the wreath. Again, you can layer this in any way that you want. Get creative. I just started in a corner, and then I'm just going to let the inspiration come to me, and I'm just going to begin to glue. And be careful with the hot glue. I use a scissors to push it down so that I don't burn my fingers. I'm going to add some of this greenery, and I'm going to put it on just one side. So one half of the wreath. And so I just bent it ever so slightly, and I'm going to glue it in. Now I'm just going to begin to layer in more leaves and flowers. And again, just place them wherever you think the design fits for you. But I'm going to add this probably very close to my leaves, just to, again, have that pop a little bit. Now, I don't know what these are called. I'm not a flower connoisseur, but I'm going to add these as well. It's just going to add, again, more warmth and uniformity to the wreath. So they just literally pull off of the actual stem. And then I'm just going to glue them wherever I think it just looks nice. Again, layering it just transforms your wreath. You're just going to see it come together as you begin to add color and pieces, and just keep going with it. Don't worry about making any mistakes. It'll all come together. So I cut this piece off because it was sticking out too much, and I'm going to just add it to the top. I'm going to fill in a gap right at the top of the wreath, and I'm just going to glue it there. Now just keep filling and fill in wherever you think there's some gaps and holes, if you want to cover up any imperfections. Now I'm moving to the other side, and I'm just going to create a small flower bunch on this side. I'm not going to fill up the entire side. I just want to create a small flower bunch. So it's going to look a little lopsided, but it's going to be an artistic, creative, lopsided wreath. You'll see how it comes together in the end. Again, you can fill up your entire wreath. You can put as many or as little leaves and greenery and foliage as you want. But this is just what came to me. This was inspired, faith inspired, and I just went with it. So that's a little bunch that I created on that one side, and I'm just going to continue to layer and build. So this is how it's coming together. I'm pretty much done. Just going to move the camera angle a bit. So you'll see on one side, On the left side, there's more of a concentration of flowers. And then I did a small bouquet on the other side. But again, it's all about just layering and just letting that inspiration come to you and using all the colors that you think really go well with your home. I felt my blessed sign was a little too sharp or too much. So I wanted to tie it into the twine. And so I found a burlap piece of ribbon in my craft box. And so I just glued that to the bottom. And here it is. Here is my fall wreath. That's bringing a lot of blessings and inspiration into my home.
I want to thank all of you for coming back and watching one of my videos. And if you're new here, please, please, please consider hitting the subscribe button below and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified of when I post a new video.